only at Winghouse.
Welcome to Saturday League Kickoff. Turn up the volume, turn up the flavour. Wings, beers and sporting glory. Only at Winghouse. Welcome to Saturday League Kickoff.
Yes, it's another edition of Saturday League Kickoff. Welcome. Hope you started to the weekend is a very healthy one. Wherever you are watching, wherever you're listening through SEN, the coverage through SEN, all our networks, whether it's the SEN app and also the Fox League viewers as well. Welcome to the show. Thank you to Joel Sugar Cane for stepping in last week as well, Webby. His jacket, he did look like an Undertaker.
He did have a bit of a Trump sort of complexion too, because he was wearing some orange makeup.
I was wondering whether he had makeup.
He's very
on.
orange.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't.
Can you confirm, did you actually witness any makeup being put on?
The listeners were onto it straight away,
Okay.
and then I sort of took a closer look, and yes, he was indeed, I can confirm, wearing makeup. Because we're on TV.
That's what we do. We break all the big stories here on Saturday League Kickoff.
And more news as it comes to hand
what
on
we
Joel
do know
Kane's makeup.
Is the final 8 sides that are going to contest the 2025 NRL Premiership. Well, they've been sorted. We know what they are right now. There's still a potential couple of places that could change there over the weekend's games, but there's still a lot to play for when it comes to round 27. There's pride, there's momentum. They're going into the pre-season, which goes a long way for a side that may have struggled throughout the year. If you win a couple of games leading into that pre-season, you've got the opportunity to do 2 debut players, opportunity to square up with someone throughout the year as well. Farewell some legends, and we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. Also, a couple of teams that can avoid the dreaded wooden spoon.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
over
right.
Saturday and Sunday.
It's going to be interesting to see Titans or the Knights.
Departing coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
And there's always contracts to play for players.
There is. As I said, if you're watching us through Fox League, welcome. Also, through all our listeners through the SN network as well. It has been another big week of the NRL as well. And the final 9 sides that aren't playing finals, we're going to talk about, we haven't decided whether we look at their player.
Their best player.
Who's their best player? Who's their breakout player? But let's go their best player.
Their best player.
Their best player. The final 9 teams.
On who you think are the best players from the bottom half of the competition.
Now, you can get involved in the show like you do each and every week. 0457 736 736 is the number. And we love your phone calls as well. 1300 01 1170 is our open line number. We'll review Friday night footy, also the Thursday night game as well. Melbourne. There's a big focus on Melbourne about one. I've been a little bit concerned about them over the last probably 6 or 7 weeks. But now what happens with some injuries, possible suspensions, it's going to play a huge role in the Melbourne Storm in that first week of the finals. The top 4 decided. We know that now. Reece Walsh, Shibasaki, they've been in the news all week as well. 5 to 8 on the ladder. So if you come 5th all the way through to 8th, do you deserve a home final?
Yes.
You deserve
5 and 6.
5 and 6 deserve
in the first
a home
week,
final?
I think so.
Do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah?
What do you think they should all?
I don't know.
Do you want to go to the old days where we all played out of?
Can we talk about that a little bit
all
later?
out of Allianz Stadium.
Yep.
I think I'd like to discuss that with you.
Okay, let's talk about
and
that.
how you're wrong about it.
Exactly. But first, like we do each and every week, let's get to our Saturday Spotlight.
The Spotlight.
So you're a little bit Shibasaki this morning, aren't you? Aren't you?
How dare you
You're a
give
little
me up like that?
You're a little bit Dusty Martin?
Look, I enjoyed myself. I took my father to the football last night at Allianz Stadium. He'd never been to the new version of Allianz Stadium.
I haven't been there yet.
You haven't been there?
I haven't been to
It
the new
is,
Allianz.
honestly... Look, it's $850 million.
Without a roof, yeah.
Without a roof, but it's still an unbelievable stadium, particularly when it's not wet.
Yep.
And the playing surface was in reasonable nick last night. But I just wanted, they had 41,000 people there at the game between the Roosters and South. And I know it's a local derby, but just the walk from, up from the pubs of Surrey Hills, easy sort of walk up to Allianz Stadium, good vibe, good weather.
Yep.
I just think it's a great example of how that facility should be used. They should be getting more once they rip up the turf and work out the drainage issues on at Allianz. Like, they should be playing as much football there as they can.
Okay.
And it shouldn't just be restricted to the Roosters. I know the Roosters don't like this. It's not necessarily their home ground. I just think it's a taxpayer-owned facility, and they should be putting the right games on at the right times at the right venues, and they should be getting a lot more bang for their buck out of Allianz.
The vibe on the screen last night coming out of that stadium was It was it was grand final Origin like atmosphere.
It holds the noise. Yeah. It's even when it's not full. It was pretty close to it last night. Even when it's not full, it pumps.
I may cough a little bit this morning, so I apologise in advance. Okay, so
what
I'm not.
for?
Well,
you've got to.
I've been crook. I haven't
How's
got
your
over
throat?
it. Well, everything's falling apart.
Barking
unfortunately.
instructions.
And Braden says the boys are back. Good to see you feeling better, Sats. Not at the moment. Could be better. Mighty Titans today. Let's send Foz off with a big win, boys. Yeah, Braden in Perth, who's a massive Titans fan. My spotlight is Cooper Bye. Set to make his debut, 18-year-old, lock forward, coming off the bench for the Gold Coast Titans. Born on the Gold Coast. His dad, Marcus, of course, won a comp with the Melbourne Storm in 99, but he made his debut on the Gold Coast in 97. A little bit like Jaden Campbell. Yeah, he made his debut for the Gold Coast Titans. His dad made his debut, Preston, in 1998 for the Gold Coast Chargers as well. I love the theme. But this Cooper Bye, who played under 19s this year, he's a special kid, this kid. He's off the field, one of the most beautiful human beings. His dad, Marcus, his mum, Heidi, have raised him really correctly, but he's a hell of a player. I can't wait to watch him play in first grade.
Is he a chip off the old block, the way that he runs?
Well, he's a lot bigger than Marcus, taller,
right.
But he's granite-like.
Oh, Marcus was tough.
Tackling Marcus was like tackling like a slab of concrete. You'd get elbows, you get knees, you get hips, whatever it may be. So, and Cooper gets to play in the last game of Kieran Foran.
Yeah.
So that's a huge highlight for a kid who's 18 years of age.
And big shout out to Foz today.
Yeah.
He's the great example of an evolved human being, the way he's going to finish his career.
You know, I've only had something to do with Kieran the last 2 years since he's been on the Gold Coast. Played a bit of golf with him here and there and just met through third parties. A more humble guy with great humility, you go a long way to meet to better Kieran Foran off the field. Just a highly intellectual and really tuned into what the player is thinking as well. His career, post-career, will be successful, whether it's media, whether it's coaching, whatever it may be. He is a hell of a nice guy. And I really hope that today that there'll be a big crowd there today at Seabus Stadium at 5:30. And I think they'll win. I think they'll beat the West Tigers today, just based on the back of how important he is to that playing group.
There'll be lots of points. I feel that.
Yeah,
both teams have got plenty.
36.
Yeah, they've got plenty of points in them. Need to work on the defence.
Hey,
that's your job. That's your job. When you start at the when do you start at the Titans? Are you allowed to talk about that?
Week after grand final.
Jeez, straight into it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
who are you signing?
Who are we signing?
Why don't we go through it now?
Let's get to that.
Yeah.
Hey, can I tell a really quick story about Marcus Bye?
Of course you can.
So, 97 at the Gold Coast Chargers, we were playing against the Manly Warringah Seagulls, and Marcus was like a right winger, and he ran down the kick chase, made a tackle, and then he chased out, made a second tackle, chased out, made a third tackle. So he kept running to his left, making all these tackles. Well, how good's this? The commentators would have been waxing lyrical about it, and then Cliffy Lyons saw what had happened. Cliffy got the long ball, threw another long ball, Like Craig Hancock, the winger, made a break down the side of the field, and at half time, the coach Phil Economidis said, "Marcus, what were you doing? Like, you kept chasing across the field. Make one tackle, make another, then get back out on your wing." He goes, No. He said, Wes Patton, who was our halfback, he said, "I made the tackle." And he said, "Marcus chase," so I chased. And he said, "Marcus chase," so I chased again. He said, Wes goes, "No, I was saying Marcus chase, not Marcus."
That's fantastic.
Because he had broken English at the time as well, Marcus. He didn't know what Wes Patton, but he was a hell of a player, and his son Cooper starts his journey on the NRL as of this afternoon. So I cannot wait for that. So make sure you get involved in the show. 1300 01 1170 is the number, and we want you to text the show as well. 0457 736 736. Let's get into that massive game last night between the mortal enemies, the Roosters, up against the Rabbitohs. 36 points to 6 in favour of the Roosters as well. Now, they locked in a top 8 finals berth, and it was a dominant win over the Bunnies. And you were there last night, Webby. I selfishly saw this coming. We got a Rabbitohs side that look like a bit of a patchwork quilt, and they're doing their best at the moment and admirably doing a really good job, the best they can. But this Roosters team smell blood at the moment.
They do, and you could just sort of tell, particularly there in the last 10 minutes before half time, they were really brave and they were in it, Souths. But, in the end there, I just think the lack of... I don't want to say lack of quality, but the lack of sort of experience on the field, and the fact that the Roosters are airborne at the moment. They just ran away with it. Mark Nwanga Nitawase. Holy hell!
24 tries from 23 games in the regular season.
He's got to go. He's got to be picked for Australia, doesn't he?
Well, that was going to be my question. He's forced his way in.
He'd have to.
Yeah.
You know, I just can't see how they don't have him, and I don't think it comes down to whether he may or may not be going back to rugby union. I don't think that's a factor. Australia really have to, pick the best, strongest team that they can for this Ashes series, because it feels like they're up against it already. In some respects, there's been so much gibber around who's going to be coaching, who's going to be the assistant coaches. As I understand it, they're a long way behind in terms of preparations for that tour. So you can't be. You got to pick your best, and he's got to be in that team.
Yeah. Well,
in my humble opinion,
back-to-back hat tricks as well. And Roosters 26 unanswered points in the second half. It was 10-6 at the break. Now they'll either face the Warriors or the Sharks in the elimination final as well.
They're the team you don't want to be playing.
Exactly. Now the coach of the Roosters, Trent Robinson, this is what he had to say post-game.
Yeah, I think most people. I think a couple of people thought we could do something this year, and we're improving. We haven't got to the top of the mountain yet on where we want to go. I feel like we're physically in a good shape. We know our style. I think I've said often that we're searching for our style this year. We know our style, and now we're continuing to improve on that. We keep talking about improvements. We're not trying to hold on to anything. We are putting the foot down, and we're trying to get to our best footy this year.
I love that. Just that we're going to put our foot down. A lot of teams like to rest players, and some clubs like to. We're going to talk about it a little bit later on, especially with the Bulldogs. They look for momentum as opposed to resting. I love that Trent Robinson. I know he can't afford to rest players because of the position that he was in, but let's just put the foot down and let's just try and go as hard and fast as we can. And whenever that churns and burns and finishes, whatever it may be, but at least they'll do everything they can.
It's been some year for the Roosters.
Yeah.
Remember, it was a development year, and they got lapped there in the first few rounds, and we were all thinking, well, this is the pain that the Roosters are going to have. I'm not entirely sure if they can win the comp, but I tell you what, they're a team with all that experience. They've got a coach that knows what he's doing at this time of year, and they've got a captain and fullback who's probably playing. His football, James Tedesco's football, has got to be on par, if not better, than when 2019 when he won the Daly M.
Do you know? There's been
you're talking about the Australian team. Yeah, if he's available, he's got to be. That's a conundrum for Kevin
man on man. I mean, he's not only the best fullback, the best player in the game at the moment.
Yeah,
he's got the biggest influence on the game. I remember someone throughout the week when they said, "Is this his best season ever?" It's hard to say whether it's his best season ever because
he's had so many good seasons.
He's been one of the most consistent players. He hasn't missed a lot of games through his career through injury or suspension, whatever it may be. Just another lazy 200-odd metres last night, a couple of hands in tries. We talk about development year. Angus Crichton was amazing last night. Sammy Walker, young Toya again, amazing. But the development and the growth of Hugo Savala. He's gone from being a guy that was just going to be given a go to now being, he's keeping Sandon Smith out of first grade.
And pushing him out of the club, really.
And if he was available on the market right now, there would be a lot of clubs that pay a lot of money for Hugo Savala.
So I know there's all this gibber around Cherry-Evans and what he's going to, how it fits in and whether it means Hugo is going to be pushed out. I do think whether the narrative's changed or not, the way it's been explained to me is that he's going to be here and he's going to be there and he's going to be a backup for Cherry-Evans and Walker.
He's at the stage,
and I think it's just the 1 year.
He's at the stage now, Hugo Savala, where he shouldn't have to take a back seat and learn. Respectfully from DCE, he's a guy where I believe you've just got to find a position for him, whether he's coming off the bench and playing a bit of lock. Maybe in the halves if you get an injury, whatever it may be, but he has to be in the side there somewhere. He can't be a person playing full games in second grade just in case someone gets injured. He's going that well at the moment. His kicking game is one of the biggest kicking games in the comp. So he has to be in the 17 somewhere and I think he's
Yeah, as I said, I think Cherry-Evans is there as much to support than just be the guy.
yeah,
If that makes sense.
yeah, yeah.
On $500,000 a year.
Now you talk about can they win the comp? I believe
Can they?
Well, Canberra are the only team I believe that I can confidently say has one hand on the premiership. They've been the most consistent all year. They've been in the top two for predominantly most of the year. They've had some injuries, but also they've been able to fill those injuries with really good depth as well. So not hampered by a lot of injuries, but everyone else is in the mix. There's no, once upon a time we'd say, well, most years, this year seems to be the one year where it goes, Canberra have been in the top two, Melbourne are always thereabouts. The rest, Penrith are dropping and having to sort of get back up into that top four again over the next few years. If you had to look at who Canberra were potentially going to play in the grand final, it could be anyone. It could be anyone.
Yeah.
And the way the Roosters are flying at the moment and the momentum that they've got and the depth that they've got in a lot of their areas as well.
The team that this isn't breaking news, but the team that worries me, or I think from a Canberra point of view, would be Brisbane.
And they'll face Brisbane.
And they'll face them in that first week, and
Yep.
it's you can just see Brisbane doing ambushing Canberra's party down there next Saturday night. They've got the 9-day turnaround as opposed to Canberra, who's got 6. It's a big game for Canberra.
Huge game, and then it's a big decision for Michael Maguire. We're going to talk about that Thursday night game very soon, but it's a big decision for Michael Maguire as well because he's
I know.
got to bring in Mam. He's got to bring in Reynolds somewhere. Reynolds will be fit
Is Mam back?
Well, they're running.
Yeah, right.
I think Cobbo are running.
Right.
Reynolds comes back, but the way that Reece is playing is on the back of injuries.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The way Hunt and
You don't want to
Billy Walters are working. Yeah.
Exactly.
Good luck with working all that out, Michael Maguire.
Yeah, well done, Madge. It's not a bad position to be in. Hey, let's get to a break here. We love your text messages. 0457 736 736 is the number. What a performance by my Roosters. I can generally see us knocking off Cronulla, Brisbane and an undermanned Melbourne to book a grand final against either Canberra or Penrith. Both of those matchups would bring incredible storylines. September footy is here. How good, Josh says, who's a Roosters fan, of course. So send your texts in. Give us a call, 1300 01 1170. And up next, we're going to review last night's Seagulls up against the Warriors. Very loud, wasn't it?
What was that?
Just going through all our text messages, actually.
Airplane
during
going
the
over
break.
the top of the...
We've got plenty of text messages coming through. We're going to talk about some debuts and debutants this weekend. Young Macassini, which 521 has texted in. Is it good or bad? We're going to talk about how beneficial it can be for teams that are not playing finals to debut some of those players as well. It's can send a really good message to the community, can send really good message to the members, and also just it allows you to keep a player engaged in the club when they may be thinking about going other places, whatever it may be. It gets them emotionally engaged into the club to be part of NRL game day. Yeah.
What do you remember of your debut?
1992 against Parramatta. I played under 21s, and I was sitting in the grandstand eating a sausage roll.
Oh.
And Wally Lewis is our captain coach, and the team manager came up and said, "Did you want to sit on the bench for first grade?" And I went, "Absolutely." Finished my sausage roll. Went and got ready, sat on the bench for reserve grade. And it was myself and Jimmy Goddard.
Oh,
and
wow.
we played under 21s. And then we were sitting there and coming back from a try. I'll never forget it. The trainer went up to Wally and said, "What do you want to do?" And he looked across it and he said, "Put the 2 young fellas on." So Jimmy Goddard and I went on. And the only thing I ever wanted to do when I got on there was get tackled or be tackled by Brett Kenny. And I achieved it. So,
There you go.
and we had the win, which is good.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then a great career ensued.
Yeah. So, Manly 27-26 victors over the New Zealand Warriors last night in that early game.
What a funky game of football.
It was weird, wasn't it? The
Yeah.
quickest try in rugby league history
9
scored by a
seconds.
front rower.
Yeah, the man of the moment. He must have been Daly Cherry-Evan. He was.
Yeah.
I
think it was...
I read in some of the stories today that he must have been just taking in the atmosphere of this is his last game, and then I've conceded a try.
It was an error that you wouldn't expect from a guy that's played over 300 games
that's right.
and Origins and.
But I do like that it was his field goal that decided the the match in the end.
And the champion that he is, he responded in a couple of seconds, sets later. 40-20.
40-20.
They scored a
How
try.
many 40-20s has he kicked? I think it's around. I reckon that was around
40 something. Yeah,
45.
I'd like to know now. Stormy Daniel, or a lot of our listeners are a lot smarter than us. Who's kicked the most 40-20s in the history of the NRL? I reckon
It'd have to be him.
I reckon Daly Cherry-Evans would have to be up there, or Nathan Cleary
Why
would
don't we
be
put
up
it
there.
into Dr. Google here?
Can you do that? While you do that,
Yeah.
while we are on Daly Cherry-Evans, and before we start talking about the rest of the game, this is what DCE had to say about his last game post-match.
It's so surreal, I guess, what I'm feeling right now. It's really hard to put into words. A little bit overwhelming in regards to how much support I'm getting, but it's all good feelings. Weird game, but so grateful we got the win. It's a bittersweet feeling not playing next week. Probably important to just celebrate what's happening right now. I think it's really important to acknowledge that I might not be finishing here, which is a lot of people's wishes, but I'm going to finish my career how I want to finish it. And I get it's going to make people disappointed and angry and frustrated, but that's life. I'm not going to be looking back, that's for sure.
I do like how measured he is. He's very measured in a lot of his messaging. And he is right. People will move on. People will be emotional and they'll be filthy. Whatever happens
With
next.
him?
Yeah, with him.
Yeah,
There'll be some Manly fans.
Sure.
People who have no emotional connection to Manly or Daly Cherry-Evans, they'll just have a say because they like to. But everyone will move on, and Daly will play another year next year, and everyone's thinking it's the Roosters. But with Daly, you just never know. You never know. Can I ask you this about, before we start talking about this game last night and the New Zealand Warriors, how do you think any announcement will come out? Do you think it'll be a big, like a press conference for a release of whatever the news is of Daly Cherry-Evans, or do you think it'll just be a byline?
It'll just be a little dot par at the end of a story. No, it'll be a big story when it happens, even though we know it's coming.
But do you think he will host a
media conference?
or do you think it'll just be something? It'll be a media release. It'll go out and everyone will just report on it.
I think everyone will just report on it
Okay.
for sure. Yeah, I don't know. They don't really do those sort of big signing press conferences like they used to, and probably because this one's been. And the Roosters, they're not the most, they're not the most media sort of friendly. Yep. I don't say that disrespectfully. I just mean in terms of like they don't sort of make a big song and dance about these things.
Yeah.
You remember when Craig Wing signed with South Sydney? And they did I still remember it, and he was still playing at the Roosters, and Nick Politis was filthy because he called his own player a show pony to the Daily Telegraph. They put it all over the back page. It was like extraordinary scene. So they like to do things, and Politis likes to do things very quietly, very restrained.
Yeah. Now, Manly, they're struggling in the end with they had 12 players. They had players playing injured. Matt Lodge had to go back on when one of the players, I think it was Ethan Bullymore, went to a HIA as well. There's two sin bins, Turbo and Tavanga was sin binned as well. But Joey Walsh, we talk about debuts and the importance of debuts. Joey Walsh, who was a kid that went to school at St Augustine's, just across the road.
There you go.
He always used to go and sit on the hill with his parents to watch the game, and finally gets to wear the Manly jersey last night. And a kid that has never played first grade, a lot of high expectations on this young man. But when he was sitting on the bench, and when he rose from the bench last night and got the card, the interchange card, it was like a returning legend. Was playing his first game after returning to the club or whatever it may be. There's a lot of locals that were proud for this young kid.
Yeah, for sure. That is good. Yeah, that's what the peninsula's all about.
Yeah.
That connection with their community.
Yeah, so 27-26, they finished the season with a much-needed win to finish 9th on the competition ladder, the Manly Seagulls. Now, Anthony Seibold has had a lot of people question him throughout the year, but the good part about it as a coach, all you have to do is win the last game of the season, and everyone goes a little bit more quiet. This is what he had to say after the game.
Pretty special for Chaz to kick left foot field goal to his time here at the club. But I was just really proud of the last 3 weeks, I've got to say. We fought really hard, showed a lot of character. We had a lot of players missing before denied. Then we lost Aaron Shot with an ACL, Tommy Talau broke his thumb, Clayton Falalo, concussion was ruled out of the game, and then we had a few guys like Brooksy played centre and so on, and Benny. So it was really proud the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, so, they have been better. They have been better. And a lot of their younger players are starting to take a lot more ownership of the side as well. Now,
Is Anthony Seibold the coach next year?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think he is. Absolutely.
Well, they're going to have a big powwow, a big meeting, a summit, maybe a drink together, and just try and, because there is unrest at that club.
There's nothing better than a keg in the middle of the room, is
That
there?
will sort it out.
Yeah.
What are they? Well, I think it was
At the Stein?
Stein.
Is it the Stein?
It's truth serum.
Stein.
It's truth serum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alvino Veritas,
There
truth
you
in
go.
wine.
There you go.
There you go.
The great Bob Bax.
Great coach, Bobby
Great
Bax.
coach. He
Brisbane days.
he would, when he was coaching, would, like, after training, put a carton of beer down, and he said this to Wayne Bennett, who was that was one of Wayne's many coaching mentors, and he said it's truth serum. And he said because you 2 or 3 beers in, blokes start being more honest and talking, and he said Bob Bax would just sit there and listen to what they had to say. And that would get it all out.
In 1975, my dad...
Beer, just curing.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can't do, beer? Is there anything you cannot do?
Drink responsibly, of course.
Of course, yeah.
1974, my dad was retiring, and Bob Bax, he asked Dad to play another year in 1975 at North Devils in Brisbane. And Darryl Broman was his other front row as a sort of 18-year-old. He loved Darryl, and Darryl loved the old man. But Bobby Bax said, can you please come and help mentor this young team? But I can't pay you anything. So Dad said, yeah, no worries. He said it was one of the most enjoyable seasons he ever had, his last year. He was 32 at the time, 32 turning 33. And at the presentation night, Bobby Bax was famous for always carrying cash from the bookies. And
Right, yeah.
And
the big wads of cash that they used to carry back then.
So the presentation night, he said, oh, Sats, can you follow me? He walked out the boot of his car, opened up, and he gave him this big wad of cash. Thanks very much for your services for the year.
How good. I love those guys.
Exactly.
Very good.
Now, on the other side of that match last night at Brookie, the New Zealand Warriors. Now, before we get to them, let's listen to the other Andrew Webster, what he had to say about the loss.
I thought both teams' best were really good and their worst was really, really bad. It was like that the whole game. When we were playing well, I thought we could go on and win the game. And when we weren't going well, it didn't look like it was going to be good. But we kept throwing punches all the way through, but they just weren't the right ones at times. Like you could see we wanted it, and we're probably overplaying and making it really hard for ourselves. But new competition starts now, and we've got to get excited about it.
Now, Des in New Zealand, who has texted the show, says, Kia ora, Sats and Webby. Love the show. Waz fan here. Webby's done such a great job with the squad we have. You've done a great job, Webby. Well done. To make us more
Players did some of the work.
To make us more resilient and competitive over the last 3 years. What's become clear, though, is he's squeezed as much juice out of the current squad that we have. We're missing some pieces to elevate us beyond Leka, Halasima, and a fit Metcalf. The teams lack an X factor. Look at the Raiders, Storm, Broncos, Chooks, and even the Titans now. What else do we need to take us to the next level? Because we're at odds to get bundled out in week 1 and we've been on the slide for the last 2 months. Yeah, it's a good text. You're right there, Des. And that was going to be my question. They're going to be hosting a final, either the Roosters or the Panthers this weekend, isn't it? So,
see, but it feels like they've limped to the line, right?
Yep.
But you can just see them over there with that crowd that's so infectious.
Lifting?
I can see them. It's a little bit like Melbourne, when you know that you're locked in.
Yep.
It's it must be tough. Is it? You tell me. You've been in you're the ex-player. If you're locked into the finals, it must be, and you got those last couple of rounds, knowing that you're just playing for either position in the 8 or the 4 or
no, I didn't.
You never did?
No.
Do you think it's a factor for teams?
I think it's a factor for an individual,
right,
not a team.
Right.
Yeah, all you need is a period of the game where you feel as though we're playing finals anyway next week, and you just all you need to do is decrease your effort by 10%. And if you've got 3 or 4 other guys in the team that are doing the same, well, then you've got another team that can score unneeded points against you. You go in with lacking a little bit of confidence, whatever it may be. You've got to remember back, I suppose, you hate to say when we were playing, but you didn't rest players leading into finals as well. You just put your foot to the metal and you just kept going. So you didn't rest players like they do today with sports science and all that loading involved. And people a lot smarter than me that come up with those decisions. But no, I never did. It comes down to the individual. The coach can do and approach the game as best they can. Purely comes down to the individual's mindset.
I think we're forgetting a little bit that the Warriors have lost their best their prop. one of their representative prop and their great emerging halfback.
Yeah.
To
me, they've looked erratic.
That doesn't help.
They looked erratic at times. They look like they're just playing in periods. Once upon a time, when they were going really well at the start of the year, once upon a time sounds like a long time ago. It was only at the start of the year.
It's like a bedtime story.
Yeah, but they look like they wanted to play the long game. Now, we'll blow you away in the last 15 minutes, which hasn't been the Warriors of since they've come into the comp since 1995. As a team playing against them over the years, you knew that if you could just withstand their first sort of 50-minute barrage onslaught, you'd be able to come over the top of them really, really easy at the back end of the game. So
I'm not saying they're going to win, like they'll win next week, but if they did, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep. I can't see the Warriors beating the Roosters or the Panthers next week. What do you think, guys? Kel from Lithgow. I can see them beating them, like you said, because they're at home. But they're playing against two teams, the Roosters or the Panthers, that have big game players, and it doesn't matter whether you're playing in the car park of a shopping centre. They know the enormity of it as well. So sometimes when you play at home, you can expect the crowd to get behind you too much, and be that that 18th player. So you got to be careful. What is a big concern for Andrew Webster is defensively, some of their players are coming up with some terrible defensive reads. Rocco Berry come up with a bad one last night, who's ended up being injured in it. Dallin Watini-Zelezniak is coming up with some confusing decisions defensively as well for an experienced winger. So they look really disjointed at the moment, and they've got to be able to rectify that inside a week.
You know why I like them? Also, James Fisher-Harris said afterwards, he said, no one rates us. That worries me.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place for them to be.
Well, no one rated the Raiders as well.
No, that's right.
Look where they are.
Exactly.
Yep.
What do all of us people know?
Now, before we get to our
We know
temper, the player that would have slept very well last night for that game against Manly and the Warriors, Stormy from Daniel, I knew he'd come through. Sats and Webby. DC has kicked 42 40-20 since his debut, which was 2011. The leading 40-20 exponent in NRL history.
There you go. I tell you who will get up there by the end of his career, maybe. Reece Walsh.
Isn't he getting some?
He can sniff some out
because he's a left footer as well. A lot of people don't expect the left footers to play a major role in the kicking game.
But
as well.
that 40-20 he kicked on Thursday night was a ripper.
Hey boys, will the Panthers throw the game against the Dragons so they don't have to travel to New Zealand?
Ooh,
tanking. We don't see tanking in rugby league. Can we get Ivan Cleary on the phone?
The draft
please?
picks that don't exist.
I want to get Ivan Cleary on the phone. Ivan, if you're watching at home, okay, in Emu Plains or Leone, can you give us a call? 1300 01 1170. Will you be tanking this weekend? I don't think so. I don't think it's in their DNA, to be quite honest. Now, for temper, for a great night's sleep night after night, choose temper. Who's the player that would have slept well in that Manly and Warriors game?
Let's give it a DCE in his last. He needs the pillow.
He would have slept well because he would have gone, phew.
Thank God that's over.
My field goal got us home.
Oh, no, sorry.
What a way to finish.
I thought he'd say, thank God that's over, but you say it's more...
Let's get into some of the big news throughout the week after the break. 1300 01 1170 is the number. And if you want to send a text, 0457 736 736. And up the Panthers, Stick from Northmead says, looking to next weekend, all 4 away teams to win. Well, that'll be a turn up for the books. Okay, let's get to a break. We'll see you on the other side. This is Saturday League Kickoff, all thanks to Wing House, the best seats and beers always guaranteed. And also Eufy as well, save time and effort with the E15 robot lawnmower, which, as we keep saying, you're going to get at your new house, the robot lawnmower.
I am. Just sit back.
Stevie Nicks, your staffy, will be just yapping at it.
Just yelling at it?
Yeah.
I was hoping she could push the mower.
So Stevie Nicks, your staffy, did her anterior cruciate ligament.
Yeah.
Is she?
They call them CCLs.
Oh, do they?
For dogs. Yeah.
Okay, canine.
I don't know.
Cruciate ligament.
I don't know CCLs.
So is it?
I just know one thing. It cost a lot of money.
Has she recovered?
She's on the mend.
Okay.
Yeah. She's she wants to run like the wind.
Yep.
But she can't. She's not allowed to.
Staffies and their zoomies.
Oh yeah, she gets very excited and she's very strong.
We love all your texts that are coming through. We're going to try and get to as many as we can, if we can. Oh, a good mate of mine I played footy with, Brendan Barker. Good to see you on TV, bud. Prego, his name was.
Gotcha.
Because he just always looked pregnant.
Oh.
He did. He always looked
You
pregnant.
fat shamed you.
No, he wasn't a big guy. He was quite a thinly built sort of guy, a hell of a rugby league player. But he had this.
What
he had this
trimester
little
was
pot
he
belly.
in? What trimester was he in?
He had this little
Don't
pot
knock
belly.
those pot bellies.
Prego Brendan Barker, what a great guy. We won the under-19s grand final for Runaway Bay Seagulls.
Beautiful.
Went through undefeated.
Do you want some judiciary news?
I want some judiciary news.
Jamie
Thank you very
Hunt.
much.
Oh,
good stuff, Pete. I
good
love
stuff,
that.
Pete. We love that sound effect. Maestro's doing some good sound effects on Morning Glory.
I think Maestro's copying off Pete, but
Oh,
yeah.
gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Well done, Maestro. Jamie Humphries for that hip drop.
Yes.
2 matches with the early plea.
Wow.
Yeah.
Coming down hard. As soon as you lose your feet, they're gonna hit you.
Victor Radley got will just get a fine for high contact on Jack Whiten.
Yeah, saw that. Now the
And-
big one out of Thursday night is that
Nelson.
Nelson, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's 3 matches. I'm pretty sure. Is it 3?
He missed the grand
Don't
final
hold me
last
to that.
year. Remember?
Is it 3
I think it is 3 matches.
or 4 with the early plea? Let's have a look. Just want to be right.
Yeah, I think it's 3 with the early plea.
Okay.
So, but I mean, again, he missed the grand final last year, and it's got to be
That's
concern.
right.
It's got to be a concern for Melbourne, hasn't it?
Has he played his last game for him? He, as much as I love Nelson as a player, he can be a liability
Sometimes you need a little bit of cray in your pack.
in your life.
You do. You need some crazy. You need a couple of loose units, and I think sometimes it's not a bad thing. It's probably more so that the signing of Stefano Utoikamanu allows them to have that big sort of fast
That big
backup
body,
for it.
yeah.
as well. So let's get into the top 6 are locked in. We know that when it comes to where they're sitting. Now it's just about where the Roosters and the Panthers finish after the Panthers play the Dragons this weekend. Now, we did get a text earlier on. We just read it out, and it was around the 4 visiting teams will win this weekend. So let's look at this. Bit of a long-range preview for what it's worth. First qualifying final, Raiders first up against the Broncos.
It's a ding-dong battle.
So that's the first apparent away team that will win. And likely to be played Saturday night. So have they locked them in?
No, they don't. They'll do it. They'll wait till the very last minute on
Yep.
Sunday. But that's. I know the Canberra Raiders are furious about having to play Saturday night, only getting a 6-day
So they'd
turnaround.
rather- and being the...
They want to be the Sunday, and
Okay.
they think because
Can I throw this at you?
Yes.
If you're the minor premier...
yeah, that's what I was
premiers,
going to say.
Could you decide?
You should.
Yeah.
Well, you should get as much time as
Yeah.
you should at least get the 7-day turnaround if it's available.
Yeah.
The argument from the NRL is, well, you've rested all these players this weekend. Should not matter. It
Yep.
shouldn't matter.
Yep.
They're the minor premiers by 2 wins.
Do you think Joel Sugar Cane's theory also is that if
Where they get to choose your
you get
opponent.
to choose who you want to play, whether it's a top 4 or... He says top 4, but you can choose to play whoever you want.
No,
No.
it's not Mortal Kombat.
How good was Mortal Kombat?
That was great. The arcade one. Can I just do a quick shout out to my good mate Tommy Decent at the Narooma Golf Club. I don't
Tommy
know.
Decent, as in the journey.
As in the great journo,
Yeah.
my former Herald colleague.
Wrote a really
I
good
don't-
story recently around he met up with Eddie Jones.
He did.
To bury the hatchet.
Yeah,
Good story.
after spearing him.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. Great journo, great guy. I am a little bit concerned that he may be drinking at 11:45 in the morning. Concerned, but not surprised.
Drink responsibly. Paramat says, finally a Stevie update. Best part of the show, lad. And also, hello, guys. Big fan, 398. Thank you very much. A lot of support for the show, which is great. Now, let's look at the second game, which is Storm v Bulldogs, second versus third. Likely played on Friday night at Amy Park. So, again, our listener earlier on saying the Bulldogs will win that game against a depleted Storm. Now, they'll get Stefano back. Mm-hmm. They'll get Harry Grant back. We're going to talk about this a little bit later on with the Melbourne Storm. Jack Howarth, some concerns about injury and suspension as well. So, Storm Bulldogs. And then you've got the Sharks 5th up against the Warriors 6th. So, if you're looking at the table at the moment, which has the Panthers 8th and the Roosters 7th. Now, if the Panthers, for whatever reason, don't get over the top of the Dragons and it stays that way, the Sharkies will play the Panthers, to be confirmed, and also the Warriors will play the Roosters in New Zealand, which you would probably think would be next Saturday night.
Yeah.
Early game.
I can't see the Dragons beating Penrith today at all, so that means they'll finish in 7th. It's it's funny. The two strongest teams. It's I don't know. But what Sharks is going to turn up?
Yep.
That's the question, isn't it?
Well,
I think we get a better read on both Canterbury and Cronulla. I know this is sort of stating the obvious after they play.
Yep.
Is it today? Tomorrow.
I
Yeah.
think. Is it?
When
No, I
is
think
it?
it's tonight.
It's tonight. It's tonight.
Yeah.
It's the second game of Super Saturday.
Yeah.
It's a very very tricky finals to pick, isn't it?
Remember once upon a time when there was the old McIntyre system and Team 1 would play Team 8.
Yes.
And generally you would think that would win. But then there were a lot of times when teams like the Broncos would come 8th and they had 9 State of Origin players and 9 Test players. And for whatever reason, throughout the years, they had suspension or injury, and which they had to drop a lot of games through Origin as well, which is the reason why they finished 8th. And then you got to play them week 1 of the finals. Yeah, this is not ideal.
No.
You got to play someone who's led by Webby, Tallis.
There were upsets in that 1v8, wasn't there?
Remember the Warriors v Melbourne?
That's right.
Yeah, they upset them a few times. Yeah.
But I remember that. Well, they beat them in that preliminary in 2012.
They did too. Yeah, they did.
I remember covering that game.
Yeah, they did. So, a lot to play out with it. When it comes to the top 6, well, the top 8 as well, and some of those scenarios, and when they're going to be played as well. That's a big question here about the amount of days they get to recover as well. So,
what do you think? Do you think it's unfair on Canberra? I know why the NRL want to put it on that Saturday night game, because it'll get a huge audience because it's Brisbane TV audience.
Well, to me, Canberra's everyone's second favourite team at the moment. They'll get a big audience anyway.
But does the fact that
the Broncos will get, it doesn't matter what time the Broncos play, everyone will watch.
100%. But also, I just think the fact that they're resting players should not matter at all.
No,
Don't you think?
No.
They've earned the right to do that.
Absolutely.
And that shouldn't mean they get less of a turnaround than Brisbane.
Yeah, I agree. You should be given every opportunity to be their grand final day. And I know they say it's a new comp, but when you finish first and get the JJ Gilton and Shield a week before the season finishes,
If I know Ricky Stewart at all, he'll be like, see, the NRL don't like us. They hate us. Brisbane hate us.
Exactly.
The media hate us.
Yep.
The world hates us.
1300 01 1170 is our open line. We love your calls. Gary from Newtown is on the line. How are you, Gary?
Good, mate. I just want to speak about last night's game. I was a little bit frustrated. I haven't watched the replay, but I just want to voice my opinion of how I felt last night. Now, they were holding their own, the Bunnies, in that game. Come to the second half, a couple of minutes in, the boys had tackled at the Rooster player and they tilted him to the side to get him on the ground, and Brandon comes in to whack him and it's gone high. He gets 10 minutes in the bin. I don't think they're filling the game. That turned the game upside down. It was 10-6. The Bunnies are in the arm wrestle, and that was the end of the game, in my opinion. I just want to speak about one other thing very quickly, and that is duty of care. When someone makes a half break and you tackle them low around the legs, within a second, you're penalised with 6 a game, which is a nonsense. If they talk about duty of care, when you go high in a tackle, sometimes you can slip up and give away a penalty or 6 a game, whatever the case may be, and they're allowed to stay longer in the tackle, for argument's sake. So if you go high, you've got a fraction of a second longer to get off. If you go low, you've got no time in the world, and we're talking about duty of care. If you tackle low, it's a safe tackle. You go high, you can make it blue, and things can go wrong. But you got longer to get off a blow by making a mistake by tackling high than low. It's a nonsense to me.
Yeah, Gary. Gary beat himself then because I think he swore. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't. Hey, Gary, thank you very much. I love how passionate you are, and you are right. Yeah, Jake Trebojevic, for example, has got great tackle technique. Now, there's this argument that players that like to tackle low hit their head on the elbow or the hip of the opposition player, and a HIA or some sort of concussion will come from something like that. But we don't focus on good technique anymore. And it's something that emerged in the game a long time ago. And Gary's exactly right. If you tackle up high, through fatigue or whatever it may be, or the change of the angle of the player that's running the ball just drops for whatever reason at the last moment, and they cop a chop across the chin or whatever it may be, I feel as though there is a bigger degree or range of mistake or injury or duty of care by the tackling up high than there is tackling down low. Jake Trbojevic gets a lot of 6 agains against him because he's got such great technique. He wants to wrap up the legs. He wants to stay there a little bit longer. But because the NRL have apparently got this 3 point whatever seconds it is based on the play of the ball.
3.2 seconds.
Yeah.
Apparently that determines whether a referee is doing a good job or not.
Yeah. So it's a good call there, Gary, and I think you are reiterating a lot of what a lot of rugby league fans have the same opinion about as well.
It's so subjective.
It is.
You know, that just seems so subjective. From throughout the game.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you're right.
And there's a real suspicion from fans that that they're square ups.
Yeah.
From the referees.
Hey boys, I enjoy your show. I'm a Bunnies fan. My name is Donald. G'day, Donald. Thank you very much. Glory 366 says as well. We do get a lot of South fans. There's a real South Roosters rivalry on the text message as well. Hey, let's talk about the Brisbane Broncos. They had a great win. It was a tremendous win on Thursday night, and albeit it was on the back of a really serious injury to Jerome Hughes, you still can't take away with the style of rugby league they're playing at the moment, and that is all initiated by some really good defence, but also really with the way that Reece Walsh is injecting himself into the game. But that game itself, which we'll focus on a little bit later on, is we want to focus on during the week leading into such a big game of this nature. There's Reece Walsh with the whole toilet water and the message about rehabilitation is really good for your rehab. Now, he scored the try the other night and did the drinking of the water. I don't mind it. It wasn't. Listen, it wasn't. I thought the Broncos handled it really well. They said it was a poor attempt at humour, and that's all it was. It was a real poor attempt.
They also had a public warning to not try it at home.
Exactly.
I'm so glad they said that because I always drink toilet water and I just didn't know it was bad for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, some of my teammates have been seen chewing on trough lollies, so that's back in the day. That's well back in the day. Okay. So,
oh my God!
But in saying that,
stop it.
Do you know what? My biggest concern for Reece, even though he's doing the reno on his house.
Was that you? Were you eating the trough lollies?
No, that wasn't me. No.
That's going to make me spew.
So with Reece, he's saying we're renoing the house. We're the ones that put the toilet in.
Yeah, but plumbers always christen the toilet.
Exactly.
So what are you doing?
I know.
Look, it's just he's got a big social media presence and he's
541,000 followers on Instagram.
I know.
That's big.
Look, and I'm trying not to be the old man yelling at clouds, but it's just how young it's what young kids do.
Yeah.
It's what those youth do.
The message
these days.
wasn't ideal, but you know what?
And it's like after the back of the punching, and it's like, mate, but you know what? If you're gonna put your head up like that,
yep,
and then play like you did on Thursday night, you can do whatever you want.
Yep.
It's not like the game hasn't had many muglairs over the years, have they?
My daughter made a really good point the other night watching the game when everyone's cheering for him or there's some people that are booing him, whatever it may be.
Yes.
She said, people that don't know Reece don't realise this stuff fuels him.
Yeah.
It just fuels him the way that he plays. So, Shibasaki, not ideal.
That's not good.
Broncos booze ban as well. Sunday, apparently it's his birthday, drinking with the Dolphins players. Nothing wrong with that. Players are mates with other
what? I just found it disappointing because he's been such a great story.
Well, sometimes you get a little bit ahead of yourself when you've had a good year and everything's going right for you and you think, hey, it doesn't matter if I just drop the ball a little bit here off field. I'll get through because I've been travelling really well. But I thought either way with I think the senior playing group would have played a role in this as well. But I think before we get to the break, I think Michael Maguire and the way they played it, it's a win-win situation. If they lose the game, it sends a message that it's not about you, and look how much you can do to affect the game. If you lose the game, if you win the game, it sends a message that it's not about you, and they go on and win the game. It's about a bigger prize here, and you got to be willing to sacrifice. So he's learnt the hard way. There's nothing worse. You can get fined. They can hit you with an internal fine, and you just pay the money and you go and play. There's nothing worse than sitting on the sideline in the team's attire, not a jersey, and watching your teammates try and play and win.
Was he 18th man on Thursday night?
No, he was dropped out altogether.
Oh, he's out altogether.
And secondly, trying to play for a top four.
I saw him in a jumper before the game.
Yeah,
it must have been
just a jumper for the chill. as well.
It must have been an old footage of him.
Yep. Keep your text coming through 0457 736 736 and give us a call as well, like Gary did. 1300 01 1170 is the number. That's the end of the first hour of Saturday League Kickoff. Another hour to come on the other side of the break.
No, Tom.
Now 30 points to 14. The Broncos up against the Storm on Thursday night, and we've got a lot of Broncos fans here who are saying, just want to say up the Bronx. Top 4, baby, grand final, here we come. How good was that tackle from Walsh on Xavier? And Billy Walters has been incredible this year. He has been, Billy Walters, whether playing hooker, coming off the bench, or playing in the halves as well. Defensively, he's been outstanding as well. So, Webby, you were listening to your own podcast, and that's what you're doing.
No, I wasn't.
Were you not?
No.
Okay. Also, the biggest news coming out of this is outside of the Broncos making the top 4 is the injury to Jerome Hughes, which is not ideal. He went back in with a shoulder. Was missing games because of that shoulder injury, which against the Roosters a few weeks back, but with that broken wrist now, it's devastating. Brendan Piakura, who was on the tackle on Brendan Piakura as well. So, but fortunately enough, and we'll focus on some of the players to come back in. So we won't focus on that at the moment. But before we do talk about this game, let's get Craig Bellamy on Jerome Hughes' injury.
I'm not quite sure. It's a wrist or just halfway, like in the forearm. So I think they're quite sure. I think they pretty much think it's a break without doubt. He's in plaster already, so that wasn't a great idea to put him back in this week. But anyway, I'd imagine, yeah. They haven't sort of asked that question directly, but I'd imagine it will be.
Now, people who are saying, was it right to put him back in? Well, it's a completely different injury. It's just what rugby league does. The aggressive run of young Piakura. And when he was passing the ball from left to right, you could see he was uncomfortable. When he tried to pass the ball from right to left, that's when he broke down and he left straight from the field.
Yeah,
so
it's a bit hard for Craig Bellamy to blame himself in that instance. And it has been confirmed as a forearm. So
it is forearm.
Yeah. Okay. And Ryan Pappenhausen has entered NRL concussion protocols, so it remains to be seen whether he's going to play or not.
Yeah, wow.
So it was a very costly night for the Melbourne Storm.
The good part about the Melbourne Storm and Stormy Daniel, he is so is Hillstorm Hillary and Rob from Melbourne as well. They're all Melbourne Storm fans. They've got some players coming back, which is beneficial. We're going to talk about that very soon. Reece. He's enjoying not having, on the back of Shibasaki being dropped, they had a lot more energy. They were far more physical than Melbourne were through that early parts of the game. But Reece seems as though he's enjoying not having Ezra and Adam Reynolds there. Now,
why is that?
Well, I think with Adam Reynolds likes to, like Kieran Foran, he digs himself right in the line because he doesn't have that speed that he once had. By the time he delivers the ball, the defence have this opportunity to get up in the face. Now, Reece just needs to probably get a little bit more depth on that. But with them not being there, it's been really Ben Hunt and Billy Walters being good defensively, but most of all, just getting them to a field, the team to a field position, and then allow Reece to play like a number 6. Yeah. So that's why we're seeing everything from Reece.
It'd be such a ballsy call, wouldn't it, from Mike Maguire to not pick your captain?
Yep.
But if it's working for them, it's working for them at the moment, isn't it?
Now, do you think it was a ploy from the Brisbane Broncos to deliberately take out Xavier Coates?
It seemed like it.
It did, didn't
It's
it?
almost like let's just concede the penalties. Let's do whatever we can to make sure he can't get up and get the ball.
It's almost
and just also when Arthur's got him over the sideline like that, and that obviously talked about it at length that week, and just to see the reaction of his teammates around him, there's a team that's there's some chemistry there.
Yeah.
In that Broncos side, that's why they can do some real damage in this next month.
Yep. Now, we've got a text here about it as well. We've got so many texts coming through. I haven't actually got through to highlighting it. But with the early part of the game, the Brisbane Broncos had a lot of 6 agains against them really early. Just continuous 6 agains. And then the Brisbane Broncos, they gave away 3 in one set and had a player sin binned. Wasn't ideal.
No.
Didn't look good.
No. It's going to be a tough finish to the year for him, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then again, they've got so much class that it's hard to know what Melbourne can do when they get up.
Yep, exactly. And we touched on earlier on the Nelson Solomana as well. Now, let's get Michael Maguire on Reece Walsh and his involvement at the moment, the way that he's playing.
Oh, look, he's a character. Obviously, creates a lot of noise, but at the end of the day, he's in here training. He's doing all the work with the players, and he wants to win. And it's nice to see. He got challenged earlier in the year too about how he's playing and what he was doing. So he wears a fair bit along the way as well. But to see him work with the players the way they are at the moment, it's good to see.
Yeah, so happy with the way he's playing at the moment. The reason why I'm laughing is because Dave's texting, and as has my good mate Brent Tate. I didn't call the Roosters earlier on, and I didn't think anyone would pick it up.
What did you call them?
I left the S off in the middle. So
your potty mouth on this show.
Tatey always picks up that, as does Dave as well. So thanks very much for your input, you idiots.
You should hear him off camera.
Now, Craig Bellamy.
like a Wolfie.
Craig Bellamy, not ideal what happened on Thursday night, but this is him in relation to the loss.
Disappointed again, to be quite honest. We sort of started the game, looked like we lacked a whole heap of patience. Pretty undisciplined as well. A lot of penalties and 6 agains. And biggest disappointment for me, the last 2 weeks we've had 70 points put on us. That's not a good thing, or not a good sign. Coming into finals, defence is what wins big games, and big games just about to start, and we're nowhere near where we should be. In that department.
Now, Michael says, gents, in my opinion, Jerome Hughes' injury was caused by the fact he didn't have full confidence in his shoulder, so he had gone in with an arms tackle. It's sort of like one of those, and there's some, it's actually not a bad point. I thought it was his shoulder, but the way that Piakura...
He sort of rolled under, didn't he?
He sort of leaned forward, and he had that leading, he had a leading knee as well, and they're really difficult to tackle those guys.
That's
They're
a good
really
point.
erratic with their running style. Now, we've got a new segment thanks to Loopym, one app for all your pool care needs. That's Loopym. That's Loopym as well. Let's deep dive into the Melbourne Storm. Okay, so the alarm bells are ringing. Can you take over while I cough?
Yes, welcome here to Saturday League kickoff while my colleague Scott Sattler just coughs up a lung. Very unprofessional. This is what you're getting, Titans, this type of looseness. Yeah. They're a fascinating team in this end of the season, aren't they? They've got some injuries to deal with. They've got a cranky coach. They're coughing. They're spluttering. They're not spluttering as much as my co-host.
Can we put the camera on Webby, please?
They're not spluttering as much as my co-host Scott Sattler, but they're in the same ballpark. But right there, big fella.
The good part about them. As I was saying earlier, I've been a little bit I've been a little bit concerned about them for a few weeks now. Melbourne, one, defensively, they're conceding a lot of points. Secondly,
they're very un-Melbourne-like, aren't they?
They are. They're just I don't know what it
is. That was a real worrying sign. All those tries that they conceded in the second half against. In Bellamy's, milestone match was just, the start of it. And I thought they looked a lot better than against the Broncos, but then just again fell away. I don't think anyone would have beaten the Broncos last Thursday night.
Yeah, like I was saying, the energy and the physicality they had was amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, with Jerome Hughes being out, with Ryan Pappenhausen failing his HIA, which this is flying under the radar, really. Like, he's missing next week's game. Yeah, so... And then you got Nelson Solomon, I'm sorry. But to come back, we've got Sean Blaw. You've got Harry Grant, of course. You've got Jack Howarth. Where's Jack Howarth at?
I think he's coming back, isn't he?
Saul Fa'alongo played last week for the Sunshine Coast Falcons as well. Yeah.
There you go.
A lot of people are concerned about me getting water, which I'm about to get as well. So got a lot of people to come back. Now, remember when...
Toilet water? Do you want some of that?
I'd take anything at the moment.
Yeah, take some of mine.
Can I have some of your water, please? Thank you very much.
I don't have cooties.
But Jerome Hughes... Harry Grant. When Jerome Hughes got injured against the Roosters a number of weeks ago, 6 or 7 weeks ago, you can't see this at the moment, but we've got Andrew, the producer, who's actually just...
creeping across there.
Yeah, creeping across underneath the cameras.
Trying to give us a glass of water.
Trying to give me a glass of water.
Here we go. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Look at that.
Have you drunk that one yet?
So professional.
Oh, well, don't be drinking
We're a
out of
team
that
effort.
anymore.
We're a team effort. Now, Harry Grant to return
Raddy, can you fill that up? Thanks.
from suspension. Now, when he got injured, Jerome Hughes, against the Roosters, Harry Grant took it personal.
Yeah.
He had that individual effort in that back half of that game where he just dominated the game. And the Melbourne Storm, it was a good win against the Roosters, away from home as well. And then from that point on, he just became the most dominant player in the competition, Harry. 2 weeks out is perfect for the Melbourne Storm. They've got quality coming back with Blore, Howarth, Suafa'alongo and Harry Grant as well. So concerned to not have Pappy? Absolutely. Now, they did play the Bulldogs back in round 25, 20-14 loss. They lost no one, the Bulldogs, no fans with that effort against the Melbourne Storm that game. The Bulldogs are outstanding that game as well. And could have won it quite simply through goal kicking and a couple of missed opportunities as well. So this game could throw up anything. But what we do know with Melbourne, listeners, viewers and also Webby, they go to another level at finals time, don't they?
They would have been embarrassed. And you know what? Munster would have been embarrassed by what happened on... When Reece Walsh went over the top of him, you don't think that's going to stay in his mind heading into the first week of the finals? And you know they're too proud a club to just give it up.
Yep.
You know, and particularly with Harry Grant coming back, you know, freshened up. I'd be right the Storm off at your peril.
Yeah.
I mean, Wishart comes in for
you got Jonah Pezzett to come in.
But you'd think Wishart, wouldn't you?
I think Wishart would start probably Jonah Pezzett come off the bench.
And Wishart's quality.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think he's such an underrated player. Like he's you know, so I'm not putting a line through the Melbourne Storm yet.
The threat out of dummy half is going to be the biggest thing for the Melbourne Storm. Everything peels off that. So having Harry back is outstanding. Craig should have definitely rested the big guns. Do the Storm play Munster at fullback? Now, we saw that a couple of weeks ago as well. Harry Grant, the key to the Storm. What do you think? Yeah, Kel, absolutely. So, it's plenty of upside with the Melbourne Storm. The concern for them is they're not playing well at the moment. That's going to be the biggest concern for Craig Bellamy. But they've got big enough players that have played big games to win these big finals. There you go, and that's for Loopym, our deep dive. Thanks to Loopym, one app for all your pool care needs as well. That's Loopym. Let's get to a break here on Saturday League Kickoff. On the other side, we're going to focus on our team of this week, which is the North Queensland Cowboys.
Two matches.
Neil from all the way up in Darwin says a referee decision would decide all games in the finals, like the gridiron, like forward pass from Broncos, or a 10-minute bunker analysis to look for reasons to disallow a try. That is my concern, to look for the reason to disallow a try. Just look at it, so many angles over so much time.
We had this debate on yesterday. I hate this. I don't think...
Yeah, I heard you
don't know.
That.
If you don't know, you don't know. Why can't you say you don't know?
They used to do that. They used to say, listen, I've got no idea. Can you just give me a decision?
Or they'd say, remember they say, I have an opinion?
Yep. I have a opinion. That's what I'd go back
just
to refs.
Just use the video rep. That's what the bunker's for.
Yeah.
That's not whether, and it shouldn't, their decision shouldn't be determined by, the argument is that the ref's there, well, if the ref can see it, just give it.
Do you know when it goes to the video referee, like we see a try and they give the try, and then there's a little bit of conjecture, and then they go, referee, you're on screen now. Now you got to call time off. We're going to go to video referee. If they know it's not going to be a try, do they need to go through that whole process?
No.
It's a sponsorship thing, isn't it?
God. Well, where they delay it.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's the idea of like, it's supposed to quicken things up. That was the argument. You know what I mean? So the video ref's already looking.
I do like the bunker. I do like it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
what do you like about it?
I just like
Enlighten me, because I'm not a big fan.
I like that we get more right than wrong.
Yeah, I agree, but I just think they should be just focusing on tries.
Forward passes in tries.
Well, that's right.
Exactly.
But then that gets difficult because of the angle.
Yep.
That's the argument against that. But when there's a blatant one, we talked about this on NRL 360
the Shibasaki
on Tuesday.
One last week.
I don't know why they can't rule on that.
Yep.
Because that is a howler.
Yep. Buck the Broncos, Reece Walsh, the most informed player leading into the finals. Yes, I think he is. I think Ethan Strange is probably one of the informed players leading into the finals as well. What about Jake in Picton? What a beautiful part of the world, Picton. Sats and Webby, big fan of the show. Surely Panthers put a number on the Dragons today and keep that form for the next few weeks. Teddy for Daly M and Aussie Tour as well. I think Teddy could.
I like all three.
I think Teddy.
I don't like all three as a Dragons fan, but I agree.
You know, we do during the Daly M's nights, we do the rounds, and
Yes.
round 14, the votes were
Scott Sattler, 0 points.
0 points. When they get to the end of they get to round 27, they go, and for the Roosters versus South Sydney, James Tedesco, 3 points, and the Daly M winner of the year. Could they be doing that 3 or 4 rounds out? He's been that dominant. Could they be announcing the Daly M well before round 27 when they do the countdown?
Don't you think Katoa was up there a bit?
Katoa, we've got a vote here actually. Ethan Strange could be a
that's a good
smoky.
point.
Yeah. Played a major role in a lot of their wins.
I don't think it'll be over. I'm trying to think the last time there's a real tearaway.
Yep. Don't know.
There's
Stormy Daniel,
some
over
time
you.
where it's been decided in the last, you've known, like with three or 4 rounds to go.
Yep.
I think Cameron Smith might have won it one year by a long way.
Okay. Sats and Webby. Stephen from Cronulla. I found a double upside to the Sharks finishing 5th rather than 4th, with them likely to play the Roosters next week. They will pack out 11,000 people Shark Park for their last game of the season. They can't go out on straight sets as many assumed. It'll just be 6 zip in one set, 6 love in one set. So you'd rather finish 4th, but wouldn't you?
Yeah, you want the double.
You'd rather
double jeopardy.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at the team in focus for the Cowboys, the North Queensland Cowboys. Where are they? Thank you very much, Pete. Loves his audio, doesn't he? So they can't move past 11th, okay? But if the West Tigers win and the Cowboys lose, the West Tigers can jump them as well on points. The Eels can jump them as well. So big game for the Cowboys to finish as high as possible, which will be 11th at the moment.
Which is a disappointing year.
It is very disappointing.
Yeah.
Now, the farewell 7 players, Jordan McLean has retired. Reece Robson's going to the Roosters. Tom Duffy to the Broncos. Sammy Valame to the Super League. Still got he's got a future in the NRL, Sammy Valame. And, so there's a few players that are departing. Now, there was a lot of microscope under Toddy Payten, as they are with a lot of coaches that are finishing in that bottom part of anywhere from sort of like 13th and below. And they spent some time there. They spent some time above that as well. He'll coach the Cowboys next year. They've made some changes to the coaching ranks already. Justin Morgan, their defensive coach, was let go.
But surely this has got to be it.
Well, and he knows that as well.
Yeah,
he knows it comes with the territory.
I love his honesty, Todd Payten.
Yeah, he's a terrific guy. He's highly intellectual. He knows his way around the club. He knows what happens. He knows the pressure that comes with it. Finished 5th last year, I should say. Now, they've conceded 684 points. Now, the only team that's conceded more by 7 points is the Gold Coast Titans. But they've scored a hell of a lot more points than a lot of teams as well. They can score points. They are one of the most... The Cowboys are one of those sides. I think the Sharks are like this side as well. I think the Melbourne Storm are a little bit like it as well. They're the sort of team in the first 15 to 20 minutes, you know what you're going to get. You can either sit there and watch them and go, this is going to be open and entertaining, or I'm going to go do something else.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's unfortunately the situation they're in at the moment. They've got the bye. They have 2 7, 5, 6 not playing this week, so they might have taken the bye into consideration already.
They would have.
Yep.
They would have. It's Robson's a loss, obviously.
Huge loss.
Next year, and who are they getting? Sorry, Marnie. Sorry, Reed Marnie comes in. So it might be the best thing for Reed in many respects. But it's I don't know. It's like they remember Todd Payten was coach of the year just a few years ago.
Yeah.
And it looked like this is going to be a team that. That's a force for the next few years, and they just sort of after that, it might have been 2023.
Yep.
Was it? They've just the last 2 seasons or 3 seasons, they've really sort of fallen away.
I've found with the Cowboys over the last 2 years, even though they finished 5th, I feel as though they're punched through the middle, like through their. Well,
it was 22. Sorry, he was coach of the year.
Yeah. So they're punched through the middle. They're pushing all their energy into that. In their front rows, those guys that are trying to create a really good platform for the likes of the Deardens and Drinkwaters and whatever that may be. I felt as though that was a little bit stagnant at times. Griffin Neem's a player that's got to go to another level. He's at that stage where he's got to go to another level. The boy from Greymouth in New Zealand. Jordan McLean's retiring, of course. Jason Taumalolo has sort of come back at times, and looks like with the less minutes he's playing, the better he is and the more resourceful he is for the team as well. So there is a lot of upside to the Cows, but there's also a lot of concern for me as well. Drinkwater by far, 393 says is the best player. Now, they did have their presentation night on Wednesday. Co-captain Tommy Dearden, he cleaned up. He got the Paul Bowman medal. That's his third players player in 4 seasons. And also their local rag up there, the Townsville Bulletin Fans Choice Award as well, Tommy Dearden.
There you go.
Yeah,
so I was right.
Yeah,
I'll go back to that.
Well, I think he's signed until, I may be wrong, 2028. I think he is, Tommy Dearden. He's a tremendous player, forming to be one of the real good leaders in the NRL as well. So, yeah, the Cowboys hasn't been a great year. The good part about it is they have been able to debut a couple of players. Jackson Purdue is a player that I think we all agree that I think he's a fullback.
Yeah,
myself.
I was going to ask you what position you thought he...
he's used to playing in the halves.
Yeah.
But I think he's a fullback, and whether he moves into the halves from 26 onwards, maybe. But as a fullback, he's a running player at the moment. And
what do you do with Drinkwater?
Well, no, it's just unfortunate. You've got a great player like Drinkwater at the back,
right?
And Jackson Purdue's best part about it playing in the centres, and I think I've used this example before, is that Tim Sheens did it with Benji Marshall. Benji Marshall's first full season of first grade was 2004. Played a couple of games in 03, but instead of playing him in the halves, half or 5'8", Scott Prince was halfback. He played him in the centres. He said, I don't want you to have the responsibility. I don't want the traffic coming at you all the time. We're going to play you in the centres. I think Todd Payten's taken the same approach. Yeah, I think he's learnt that from Tim Sheens. I think it's a smart thing to do at the moment. And if they do get injury with Drinkwater, you can just slip him back as well. So
look at this intel. Look at this insight.
Hey, we love your text. 0457 736 736 is the number. So send a text. We'll try and get to as many as we can. We've got so many texts about the Broncos, the Roosters, got some Cronulla, Dragons fans as well, Cows fans as well. So get your opinions through. This is Saturday League kickoff, and we're going to do a countdown with the remaining games throughout today. Welcome back to the show, Sats and Webby. Thanks very much to our good mate Mark Geyer. The big show.
Just bagging Sats.
Saying bring back sugar.
I agree.
Yeah.
He coughs less.
He can have it.
Costs and coughs less, sugar.
Tell you what, he doesn't cost less.
How much you get in the Titans? What is it, $1 million a year?
Yeah, I wish.
$1.5 million?
Shout out to you, Rebecca Vassell. Ricky Stewart v Madge Maguire is always a good battle. People forget Madge was his assistant coach down in Canberra last year.
I don't think he was happy.
Sticky would love to get one over him, Brad and Charlotte Park.
I don't think he was happy, Ricky, about Michael Maguire's departure from the Raiders.
Really?
So there'll be a little bit of sting in that game.
Okay.
Get another thing that just another person to put on the wall. Oh, sorry.
Yep. Scotty, when you start the Titans gig, will you still be doing Sports Day with Matty Rogers? If not, Rogers is in some real trouble. His gravy train is coming to an end. No, I won't be, unfortunately. And
why not? Well, you should.
Doug says, will you still be in your SEN media role? If so, will you use it to the Titans' advantage like Gus Gould does for Canterbury? Does it rank as a conflict of interest? Up the Tigers. Doug, no, I won't be. I'll still be doing some stuff when these guys feel as though that they want me to comment about the club or whatever it may be. Happy to do that, but I won't be doing it because I don't think it's a conflict of interest. And yes, you can use it to your advantage, but it'll just be too busy. I don't know how Gus
everyone else does. Everyone else has multiple positions.
They do
in this game.
Not this little black duck. I know that. Yep. Hey, let's look at the Saturday League coverage from 2 p.m. And thank you very much to our team at Eufy. Save time and effort with the E15 robot lawnmower as well. Now, the Dragons v Panthers. Really good text earlier on saying, do the Panthers not want to travel to New Zealand? Maybe they tank against the Dragons, so they will finish 8th, which they'll play the Sharkies. Won't have to travel. If they beat the Warriors in New Zealand, then you've got to come back, recover, flights, soft tissue injuries.
So they might tank.
Ivan Cleary hasn't called yet. I'm a little bit filthy on Ivan that he hasn't called the show to tell us where they're going to tank today. It won't happen. It's at Wynn
They're
Stadium.
not. Oh, they're not. They're surely. I can't. It's ridiculous.
Am I reading this right?
Tell me. The fact that they brought them all back, the players back as they have.
Yeah.
That to me just says right. It's go time.
Yeah, I'd rather do it if
they want momentum going into next week.
You'd rather do it. You'd rather do it the second last week.
Yeah.
This week's your first final.
Gotcha.
This week is your first final. And
I understand Canberra doing what they did because they wanted to win the minor premiership, and it was a great. They were great scenes last week. But I think Penrith obviously identified some time ago that when they rested all those players last week, they knew that it was better to make a strong run and conserve some energy and get some players getting over injuries. It's only Brian To'o and Liam Martin are given another week off, but I see them putting on a score.
Now listen, my son works at Penrith Panthers, and he told me a little rumour throughout the week that they've given Liam Martin the week off, but they've put him in a cage and they're just feeding him raw red meat, and they're just winding him up, okay, and then just going to unleash him in week 1 of the finals as well. Am I reading this right, that the Panthers want to end a 3-game losing streak? Have they lost the last 3 games?
Yes.
Have they really? Wow. Yeah, 16 games, 16 players last week they rested, and as you said, bringing all of them back. Dragons won 3 of the past 4 games at Wynn Stadium as well. I want to apologise to 640. He said, Sats, how are the Roosters without the S in the middle going? My kids said, who are they, Dad? Yeah.
They're a special team.
They're a special team. One that I shouldn't have said. So how do you see this one playing out? I agree with you. I think the Panthers are saying it's pedal to the metal here. We're going to send a bit of a message.
Yeah. Oh, well, they've lost to Melbourne, Canberra and Canterbury. The other, 3 of the other teams that were in the 4. 3 teams that are in the 4. I can see them, as I said, putting a real score on the Dragons.
Yep.
God love them. They feel like their season ended about a month ago with that loss to South Sydney.
I know it's not in their makeup. It's not in any NRL team's makeup to. It's a valid argument. You don't want to go to New Zealand and play. You want to stay local.
They're not going to run dead.
Maybe we may see some late changes today to the lineup.
I feel like we're going to get an angry phone call from the coach. What do you reckon?
Don't get angry and don't call us angry, okay?
He doesn't get angry, he just gets disappointed.
1300 01 1170. No, the Penny Panthers wouldn't do that. So, it's going to be an interesting one, that one with the Penny Panthers, to see how that side looks and also the mindset they're going to be in. Now, the Titans v West Tigers. And before I get to that, 5:30 at Seabus Super Stadium, we've got 392 on the text line. Says, what about Corey Horsburgh running out as captain this weekend for the Finns? From where he was last year, he was looking at a prop of the year, I reckon 2025. He's the proudest Raider, Big Red. You are right. There was a stage last year where it was public, and he was openly saying that both he and Ricky don't have a relationship.
Incredible.
And to be able to turn that around, and now Ricky's got that much faith in him.
Did you see the scenes? They're hugging each other on the sideline after they claim the minor premiership. It just again, that just shows how tight that the Canberra team is, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love what he does down there.
Who?
Ricky.
As I keep saying,
he's a special.
He needs to go and watch Lassie back to back just to get all the tears out, because he just can't. He keeps crying every public appearance.
Now, Titans v West Tigers, 5:30, Seabus Super Stadium. I think there's going to be a big crowd. 5:30 is actually a good time for the Gold Coast crowd. Actually, it's with all the junior sport finishing, and still enough time for when you finish the game, people get out to their entertainment regions, whatever it may be. Now, they're looking to avoid the wooden spoon. So if they win this game, all the pressure then goes on the Newcastle Knights for Sunday up against Parramatta, travelling to Parramatta. It hasn't been a great year for the Titans, we know that, but they get to the opportunity to say goodbye to Kieran Foran, who has just been universally loved across rugby league, across whether you're a Pom, of course he's a Kiwi, proud Kiwi, and Australians as well that love their rugby league. So,
what about Des?
Final game as a Titans coach as well. I don't know, whether he's had a real casual demeanour leading in this or whatever it may be. But this is all about Kieran Foran, and this is all about the debut of Cooper Bye as well,
and Carter Gordon.
So what I can say about this team when I look at it on paper, I think it's potentially one of their most exciting teams that they've put on. So Keanu King at fullback, Brian Kelly on the wing with also Jalen de Groot, Carter Gordon, AJ Brimson in the centres, Kieran Foran and Jaden Campbell in the halves as well. It's going to be interesting to see Carter Gordon, his first NRL match as well, his debut, which I'm really excited about. He was the number 10 in the last World Cup for the Warriors.
I'm aware. And he did it. When did he do his injury?
So they found the sheath that goes around your neck without getting too deep. It was a leaky. It was a tear. It was leaking.
Right.
Had to get surgery. So he's played about 2 or 3 games back in Queensland.
And
Cup.
how did he cause it? How did that happen?
Don't know. I don't know enough details around it. So from people who've told me that he's just a great athlete, a really, really good athlete.
The Titans are due a bit of luck at some point.
Yep. Hey?
The Titans are due a bit of luck at some point.
Well, they got plenty to play for today with a couple of debutantes and also Kieran Foran.
But I don't want to get. I don't mean to push you too hard. I know
you're right.
you're going there, but I mean, like the Frizzels have taken over. It just feels like there's a real like line in the sand at that club. You're coming in, Josh Hannay, best emerging assistant coach. Like it does feel like this is a real new dawn for the club. Is that how it's going to be approached?
Well, this club's been in this situation a number of times, where the new dawn with a new coach and different structures, whatever it may be. And at the moment, they're just words. We can say everything we want as a club, but it's just words at the moment. Until we can put everything in place, put some really good framework around some of the the different parts of the operation, and engage the community as well. But as I keep saying over the last 2 weeks, is that the only thing you talk about in sport is the only currency we talk is winning.
It's a result.
Yeah, so
that's right.
All it is at the moment is words, and we'll keep saying all the right things, and hopefully we can act on it as well. So it's an exciting time. It's unfortunate for some. You don't like seeing people lose their jobs. You've got to empathise with that as well. But as I've always said, you've got to be unapologetic in some of the decisions that have to be made as a club or as a business, whatever that may be. So that game this afternoon, another play that I'm really looking forward to for the West Tigers. Can I say this about the West Tigers also? I've been really impressed with the back half of the season.
Absolutely.
The way they've been able to galvanise after that Lockie Galvin.
I see what you did. I see what you did there.
But they've been, the Taylor May coming in, who's been outstanding. Upgraded deal. Jareen Buller look like there's rumours around him potentially just securing himself at the club for a long-ended deal as well. But the debut of the winger Hamasi Makasini, coming from a rugby union school. He's a centre. He is very Joseph Suoliti-like. He is an exceptional athlete, this young man. So I'm really looking forward to that battle as well between Makasini and the Gold Coast Titans and all those debutants as well. So well done to the West Tigers, the way they're going to finish off this year. I think all their fans are feeling as though they're heading in the right direction as well. So well done to Shane Richardson. And also Benji, the players as well, most importantly. Now, the last game, the Bulldogs v the Sharks, 7:35, Accor Stadium, 3rd versus 5th. This is something to really look forward to because the Sharkies, no one knows what you get with the Sharkies, and I like that about the Sharks this year. I don't know why. I like that all the focus is on everyone else. Are the Bulldogs good enough to win the comp?
Under the radar.
Are the Melbourne Storm done? Are the Panthers going to come from well back in the field? Are the Roosters good enough to win 3 or 4 games on the trot to win a Brant premiership? Are the Canberra Raiders, are they good enough to stay at the top? No one's talking about the Sharks, and I think it's exactly where they want to be.
I bet they are.
Yep.
And then we're going to talk about them.
We are. You
better win.
Well, Bulldogs, defensively, they play the long game, the doggies, and that's what Cameron Ciraldo has tried to instill in their mindset as a side. Defensively, we're willing to go for as long as possible, and we'll wait for you to shoot yourself in the foot. I like what he's continuing to do with the team. I'm a huge fan of Ciraldo's. I'm a huge fan of Craig Fitzgibbons as well. Hell, greatest human beings off the field and really smart players. It's no secret that Ciraldo has come from Penrith, and when you look at some of the data and the stats around the Bulldogs, that when you get into their attacking zone, that you should score a certain amount of points, but you actually don't because of their resilience in defence. And that's just the mindset that he learned as an assistant coach at the Penrith Panthers through that those years when they were winning comps, and he was there for a short period of that time as well, and now he's taking that over to the Bulldogs. So really important. So what are you making of this one? Is there something that sticks out that you're really looking forward to in this game?
Oh,
Webby?
Yeah, I love. I think Cronulla, while they can be patchy, they're a great when they use the ball.
Yep.
When they get. I know Trindle's out, Atkinson comes in, but those outside backs. I love Kaeliro, Ramey, and Kennedy. When Kennedy's chiming into the back line, he's got so much speed, and stuff happens always when he's around the ball. The question over the Dogs is, and it's going to be that way until they win a comp.
Yep.
With Lachlan Galvin, have they blown up their season? And is he the right choice at halfback? It's that their attack still looks just so spluttery, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're right. I think more defensively as well. He's going to have a lot of traffic coming at him, like especially speed on his outside. I think they're going to send a lot of traffic at him. It all comes down to Adam Fanua-Blake. He's got to be the one that's got to throw this forward pack on his back and say, guys, we've got to do this together, but I'm going to be the one that's going to strike the first blow as well. So when he dominates, so Toby Rudolph dominates, Hamlin Ueli, all these guys, Tommy Hazleton, they all dominate as well. So, and when he does that and they do that, Blake Brayley is a completely different player. This is a great test and Rob on the text line talks about Daniel Atkinson for Trindle. This is a really good test for Daniel Atkinson. He's always 18th man, comes onto the bench. He's been signed by the Dragons to basically be given the keys to the team. This is a really good test for him and a really important battle, against a team that's in the top four. This is going to be a good insight into Daniel Atkinson and what role he wants to play
and what he's going to do with the Dragons.
Yeah, exactly, as well. So who wins this one?
I just think Canterbury. I'll say Canterbury, but not with so much confidence.
Yep.
This is the game of the round, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely. I'm going the Sharkies with that one. And let's just quickly get through the Sunday games. SEN League coverage from 1:58 p.m. Dolphins v Raiders, KO Stadium as well. So I think the Dolphins have done their best this year, and they've just come up a little bit short. Some injuries to key players have really hurt them. They'll be a nuisance in Canberra. The biggest problem from the Raiders is thinking about next week.
That's right.
Saving yourself for next week.
It's not the worst team though. I know they're injured. I know they've got all those players.
Great backline.
Yeah, they've still got some strike there, haven't they?
Who's that? Raiders?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Matty Timbercoe and Sebastian Chris playing. They're not resting. We spoke to Matty Timbercoe on Sports Day throughout the week, and I asked him, was it your choice or did Ricky just say, well, I need a little bit more senior players playing? He said, no, we have the option, and I wanted to play as well. And Sebastian Chris missing games, he obviously was going to play. So, yeah, it's not a bad position. Canberra Raiders, you wouldn't, if they don't win the game, and I think they're too concerned, but the players that are playing next week, they've got to be careful they don't think about next week.
That's right.
Because you get injured. And the Eels versus the Knights, well, the Knights know where they stand if the Titans win.
That's right. Big game for it's a farewell game for Adam O'Brien and a few players there at Newcastle, but it's a proud club and they would hate nothing more than to see their team win a wooden spoon.
Absolutely. 4:05 Combank Stadium tomorrow. Can I also just shout out to Adam O'Brien? I know Des Hasler and Adam O'Brien are moving on. I want to say that both of them have shown great humility on the back of the decisions that the clubs have made. Adam O'Brien has, he's been under a lot of stress throughout the year, and it sometimes been really evident on the cameras. The way he's handled himself the last 2 weeks, I say, well done to both he and Des, and he'll hold them in good stead if they continue to want to coach at whatever level as well. Whether it's Adam wants to be an assistant coach, and Des wants to continue head coaching, whether it's here in England or Kangaroos or State of Origin, whatever it may be. I think both of them should hold their heads high as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think it says a lot. Adam O'Brien saying, I have no desire to come back and coach, be the head coach.
Well, he wants to be Ringo Starr now.
That's right. He wants to just, he doesn't want to be the main guy.
Yep.
But it just says the pressure that's, the pressure of that job.
Yeah, exactly.
In a lot of ways.
Exactly. Hey, listen, you can download the app, the SEN app if you don't have it already to listen to all the SEN coverage throughout the week. All the shows, the great magazine shows, and also the SEN League coverage as well. And you're listening to Saturday League Kickoff thanks to Winghouse and Eufy as well. Let's get to a break. On the other side, we're going to get to some text messages. We're going to wrap the show up for the day. Going to another hour of crunch time as well before the SEN League coverage as well, and also Simplecast Live on Fox League, this show, and also all the rugby league throughout the weekend, so you can get your hit of rugby league, doesn't matter where you are as well. Now, we want to thank all those that are texting in throughout the show. Also, was it Greg from Newtown? I think it was. Yeah, thank you very much. Gary from Newtown, thank you very much for calling in. Very
otherwise
passionate.
known as Gazza.
Gazza. We'll call him Gazza. And thank you very much for all your text messages. Now, JB has texted in. He said, I've been fortunate to see a lot of good young players to play Queensland Cup that have gone on to play NRL, and Cooper Bye is up there as the best I've seen. Love the show, guys.
That's a good rap.
Yeah, he's a special young kid, the way that he handles himself off the field. Very mature as well. So let's get to some of your texts. Thoughts on Macassini in for the last game, good or bad? Good, 5-2-1.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to touch on earlier on, debuting players not for promotional reasons. You don't want to do that because you can actually destabilise the player. But if they are ready physically, not suffering any injuries, and you can play them in the last couple of rounds, I think it, for a number of reasons, it sends a really good message to the fans and to their members as well. And also, it gets the player locked in for the pre-season. That young player thinks, I was never going to play first grade this year. Hang on a second, I've got one game. I can't wait for pre-season. And all of a sudden you get a really good athlete coming back that's done a lot of work off the field, knowing that he wants to play more of it. It's infectious after you play that first game.
God, there's a rap on him.
He's a special young kid. I don't know, I think he'd be 6'1", I think he'd be. Marcus is about 5'8" on a good day.
Yeah.
No, but he's probably about 6'1". He's about probably high 90s, I think he'd be, 90 kilos, 100 kilos. And plays lock forward, or they call them middle now. So, yeah, he's a special young player. Can't wait to see him this afternoon. Hey, Webby and Sats, South Australian here. Love the show. Love my league. You two have great synergy. Well, thank you very much,
We do have
Stuart.
a bit of synergy.
Would the
We're
NRL,
like the Kenny and Sterling of
the
simulcast
NRL ever
radio.
consider trying another club in Adelaide? No,
I don't think we've got the players.
I don't think we do. As well.
I don't think we've got the players for another two incoming
Yep.
teams, but that's another story for another time.
Yep. Steve from Warwick, was it Warwick Nabil? Is it Warwick Nabil? I don't know. I'm obviously saying it wrong, and I apologise. There's no way Penrith will run dead.
No.
Yep. But if I see a dodgy Vindaloo go through the camp before this week's game, I'm going to question it as well. How did the Warriors make the semi-finals, beaten by Manly last night with 7 starting players?
All those early wins.
Yeah, missing 7 starting players. And the Robinson family, this is Trent Robinson. The Robinson family had a great grand final win already this year. Last weekend, Trent's son, under 12s, Paddington Colts, won their grand final at Leichhardt Oval with a tough win over Carlingford.
There you go.
Could be a sign, Roosters fans, as well. At the end of the game last night, Manly did a tribute video to all departing players. A lot of us were surprised to see Tommy Talau on the list. Have you guys heard anything? Yeah, I've heard Tommy Talau's been said he could move on as well.
Where's he going?
Yep, not sure as well. Hey, thanks very much for all your text messages. Webby, if you love Todd Payten's honesty, I think he's, what about his dodgy assistants losing their jobs? Doesn't the buck stop with the coach? Yeah, but sometimes, you have to make some decisions, have to make some changes underneath to see whether that top coaching role is going to work as well. It's just unfortunate. It's part and parcel of the game, isn't it, Webby?
It is. That's the way it goes.
Absolutely. Plenty to come on Crunch Time in the next hour with Webby and myself for our SEN listeners, and to all our viewers on SEN League. Thank you very much for joining us for another edition of Saturday League Kickoff. Thank you, Webby.
Thank you, Sats.
Thank you, the listeners and the viewers, and also enjoy the rest of the round 27 of the regular season.